Loyal Order of Water Buffaloes disavows. Douchebag. Members who participated in Washington, D.C. sedition. The Grand Poobah states, "We are the Loyal Order of the Water Buffaloes," and condones the actions of those who stormed the Capitol building by saying, "Dear former members, we'll get you for this. Sincerely the Poobah." Fred Flintstone, former lodge member, had this to say. "How do you like that ingrate?" Barney Rebel stated, "You know, when it comes to politics, keep it at home."
Welcome to This Week Live. I am still your host, Rocky Red Panda. I am not going anywhere. This is my show. No one can make me. I run this show fair and square. Anyone who calls it and says otherwise is un-American. You know what that sounds like? Oh yes, our doofus in chief. There are a few words that are going around since the start of 2020, now 2021, that describe some of these things. Libtard, sheep, fascist, dictator, rat. So many more I could mention, but I'm not. I will state for the record that on my show that yes, I am a Democrat, and yes, I'm also libertarian. So technically, yes, I am a libtard and a sheep. Bah! But I am not a black sheep, like some of those Republicans who entice what we saw in Washington and still follow blindly to someone who could easily be compared to an insurrectionist on steroids. No, I mean a fast food diet. Yes, I'm talking about you, Blackburn, Senator Ted Cruz, and any of the other Republicans that still followed blindly and allowed such actions to happen. I had a whole script written for this week where I was going to talk about the news of the week and poke fun at some of the news stories. But after what happened in Washington the other day, I threw my script out the door as it became gone with the wind. Wait, there's no flashback? No flashback? Huh? Oh, budget cuts? Gotcha. No flashback. Well, thank you for having a low budget. You know, this is no flashbacks. We can't go back with Gone with the Wind. But for the first episode of 2021, I get to sit here and have my favorite segment, the good, the bad, and the be on one topic and one topic alone. January the 6th, 2021. A day we as Americans will remember much like Pearl Harbor Day. Or in Japan, it's not Christmas, it's KFC Day. Oh look, our president's favorite holiday. Almost forgot to toss my cards. Let me see here. Nope, that's not it. That's definitely not it. Battery's not included. Why do I have so many markers? I know I have one somewhere. Jeez, another battery. Oh, found it. So, I always forgot to toss my card, and in every show people ask me to toss things. So, here we go. Boom. I tossed it. Yeah. Boo. I tossed it. So, we tossed the card, because this is going to be a long news segment. I really want to do the good, the bad, and the but at the same time, I don't. I may turn into the Hulk smash! But I took that fateful oath when I signed on to doing this talk show that no matter what, through rain, sleet, or snow, I bring you the news of the week. So here I am, contemplating my actions as I go through with this. We are about to tread into dark subject matter here, and there is no turning back. You see, You've seen me upset, but no one's seen me at my worst. And you're about to. So let's just talk about the good, the bad, and the So I have just one thing to say. People and Republicans who supported this president, have you gotten your fill yet? Have you had enough? 5 years of following a racist dictator. Oh, look who wants to burn down democracy. Because on January the 6th, the U.S. Capitol was overrun by Trump MAGA supporters and 5 people died, including a Capital City police officer who was hit in the head with a fire extinguisher. This is the first time since the War of 1812 that the U.S. Capitol was overrun, but in that case, it was the British who burned down Washington. Who could have seen this happening? Every single person on this planet, including me. Over the years, people have said if you join him in the baseless lies and you follow him blindly, that something like this wouldn't happen. It couldn't happen. Guess what? Surprise! It did. I hope you're enjoying their judges' tax cuts and undermining the true meaning of what democracy is. Your president did this to you and America. Oh no! Don't try to play the I didn't see this coming, I didn't see it coming, and you waited 5 years to finally say enough is enough when we have been trying to tell you this since the very beginning. There are a few names that come to mind, like Senator Josh Hawley, who with his fist in the air to the mob, it's the fist of white power. Yes, white power. So much like the blood stains on your hands. This is another day that will live in infamy, including this guy who dressed up like the Royal Order of the Water Buffaloes. Yes, we're going to Fred Flintstone and the Flintstones here when you think about that. But all jokes aside, folks, all jokes aside, democracy died within the Capitol on the 6th. Senators and representatives that you, the people, elected were doing their God-forgiving job, certifying the electoral votes from each state to say Joe Biden will be our next president. Unless you were one of those people, I'm talking to you, one of those people who still followed those faceless claims that the election was rigged. They investigated. They found no wrongdoing, so your claims are invalid. Much like the coupon that you've been holding on to that will save you $1 off your next meal during chow time at the OK Corral. Oh, and those people who think that Antifa were in costumes and disguise and this was not Trump supporters? This couldn't possibly be Trump supporters. They were so peaceful.
They're like, you're not fighting each other.
If it were Trump supporters, then I would be very shocked.
I will not tolerate fake news no more. Yes. This is our.
This isn't law and order. This is domestic terrorism at its best. We are not some third world country where you can just barge in and destroy what isn't yours. We are a democratic society, so start acting like one. So, out of the darkness, out of all of this madness that happened on the 6th, 5 people died, including Capitol Police Officer Brian Sicknick. He died protecting the Capitol building from unlawful lawlessness. That same day, the head of the Capitol Police resigns, as most senators are now asking questions. How could this happen? How could we let it get so bad? It's so bad that over 100 lawmakers are calling for the president's removal. Nancy Pelosi threatens to pursue impeachment if the president's cabinet does not remove him using the 25th Amendment. So, that is what we call, you're too old to drive and we're going to take away your privileges, but yet you still get the nuclear missile codes. So, what is the 25th Amendment? So, allow me to elaborate. The 25th Amendment allows the cabinet to get rid of the president if he's unable to discharge the powers and duties of his office. Check. Yep. That's true. That's fine. So, the president did make a video a few days ago stating that there will be a peaceful transition of power on the 20th. Who knows what can happen between now and then? I can tell you what won't happen. Twitter. Wow, Twitter. I'm saying Twitter like it's a thing, like it's a Twitter thing. No, we're not going there. Twitter permabanned the president's account. Not only that, but he tried accessing the account of the president's office. They prevented him from using that, and he tried accessing his campaign account. They gave away that access too. So, not only that, but Facebook also blocked his account indefinitely. Forget about it. No Instagram. And if you're thinking about Parler, this is the latest. Parler has been banned in the Google App Store, Apple Store, and just as of today, it also has been banned by Amazon. So they have no web host anymore. So, I mean, that is actually not a bad thing. Because all this stuff that's been posted on Parler, it's just basically racist rhetoric. And that's stuff that we do not need. It's adding flame to the fire. So, but there have been reports that the president went on an angry tirade the other night when he learned about his Twitter being banned. Hulk smash! Well, if you break it, Mr. President, you buy it. We've learned, however, though, in the final days of the president's power in office, he will be issuing 3 more medals of freedom, but this time to 3 golfers. Golfers? That's right. Oh, look, a birdie. 4! That joke putted right into the hole of democracy. Cue the American Eagle. Now, out of all this bad, we do have time to celebrate short-lived celebration. Let's look back at 2021 and the year it was. Wait, no, it's not even the end of 2021. It still feels like 2020. Well, 2020 became old enough to drink, and this is how we started out. Out of the good, though, Democrats turned Georgia all blue for its first time since 1992 when they voted for Bill Clinton. Warnock and Ossoff won their run-off elections, which if my numbers are correct, it gives us control of both House and Senate. Now, what this also means is it makes Senator Chuck Schumer, majority leader, replacing Mitch McConnell. That's not a bad thing. Mitch is frowning. Of course he would be frowning about this. And yes, that's a good thing. Things are actually looking up, folks. To think that within 10 days, we will have a new elected president take office. And of course, Trump won't be there at the inauguration, to which Biden said that's mutual. Though who will be attending is, of course, Vice President Pence and his wife. He said that he would attend. And I think that's a good sign of gesture. A good gesture. At least someone will be there. And of course, the only president we know of that will be there is George W. Bush. He wants to be there to show unity between the Democrat and the Republican Party. And thank you, George W. Bush. Just thank you for that. Now, out of all of this craziness of what this week has been, and yes, 2020 has only just started, we got through this together, and I just want to thank you. But we're going to leave you with this image. This is an image of a senator. This senator was caught cleaning the floors after everything went down in the Capitol building. He stayed up late at night to the wee hours in the morning cleaning. He stated that this was my favorite hall, and I always enjoyed here, but now there's broken furniture, strewn stuff laying all over the floor. He did his job. He did his duty. He didn't have to. I'm just going to leave you with that. A little sombering image that kind of reminds us of what happened on January the 6th, 2021. So, we'll be back with the artist of the week, Yasmin Yara, after these messages. Folks, this is Rocky Red Panda, your host of This Week Live, P&D Studios, and illustrator at Panda Numeric Designs. Are you looking to get official This Week Live, P&D Studio, and Panda Numeric Design merchandise? That's right. Go to my website at pandaanddesigns.com, click on the shop, which will take you to some sweet, sweet stuff via my online Etsy store. Welcome back. Now, since it is 2021, this is where the time people return things to their stores because of the long return policy due to COVID-19. They extended it, so definitely check out your retailer for that. But we're going to be doing a little segment talking about some of the weirdest returns ever that Costco employees have ever seen. Yeah, we're going to use Costco here. This is brought to you by Clark.com. So I had to go to Clark.com and search the web to find some stories. So this is from Clark.com. So we're going to go ahead and read some of these. So let's go ahead and check some of these out. Some of these are interesting. So here's one. A woman returns a dead Christmas tree in January. That's right. It's in 2018, one Facebook user took a picture of a woman returning a dead Christmas tree to a Los Angeles Costco during the first week of January. And there's a link. So let's click on this link and let's see what it looks like. Oh, there's a Christmas tree. Oh, there's the dead Christmas tree. Ha ha! Oh my goodness. Look at that. The dead Christmas tree. Alright, let's go back here. And when the woman asked why she was returning it, she stated, because it's dead. Of course it's dead. Because it's January. It's dead. Christmas is over. People returned opened underwear packages. Or how about this one? Some returned an empty wine bottle. A lady returned an empty wine bottle because it gave her a headache. Of course it did. You drank all the wine. Here's one. Used chicken coop. I was on the cart crew for 8 months. The worst thing I saw was a used chicken coop that had started falling apart. The thing was covered in chicken feces. Everyone stared at the guy and his family as his family brought it in. Apparently, he bought it online the year before. Naturally, the front-end manager gave him a full refund. I just have no words. I really have no words. An old laptop? That's not what it seems. Had an online order come across my desk a few months ago. A guy had returned keyed for a brand new laptop about 2 weeks after receiving it. That's cool, no judgment. If you don't want it, after all, you can return it inside the 90-day policy. However, what he returned was not this brand new computer he ordered from Costco. He returned a beat up, ratty old laptop that had been at least 8 years old. It wasn't even from the same manufacturer. The guy had peeled off the serial sticker from his brand new laptop and taped it onto the old laptop. You're not going to get a refund for that, sorry. Seasonal items. Yep, people return seasonal items. How about this one? I like this one. An old fish. 13-year-old old fish. Lady left it in her freezer and forgot about it. Wanted to return it. And when we said no, she threatened calling corporate and all that jazz. If I remember correctly, they let her return it. $2,000 vacuum-packed ribeye steak. Someone bought a ribeye bone in cryovac for around $200 during the holiday and returned a cooked container of bones and fat. Yes, they were completely reimbursed for returning literally 13 cents worth of fat and bone. Major eye roll. Let's see. A safe smelling of marijuana. What? A huge safe bought online must return reeking of marijuana. The police were called. Of course they're going to be called. That's ridiculous. Here we go. Photo prints. Worst I've seen is photos. People return photos that were printed that they took and didn't like them. This is all when they still had the Dropbox for film. Some would return hundreds of black, out of focus red eye, and best yet, they returned because it doesn't fit their frame, because they chose 5x7 instead of 4x6. Simple math, folks, simple math. And lastly, 10-year-old ping pong table. I tried to return an outdoor ping pong table purchased about 10 years ago. It's outdoor rated, so it's supposed to be used outdoors, right? Well, the Florida elements have not been kind to it. The metal frame is completely rusted through, and several supports have started to collapse. Boy. That's all I have to say to these. Now, if you're going to be returning things back to your store because you didn't like what you got, be kind to your store employees. Because I used to work in retail. I used to work in mobile phone sales. So, I know what it's like. Just be kind to your employees because they work hard too, especially during this pandemic. And yes, so that was some of the worst returns that employees have ever seen sent to Costco. Now, with that being said, we're going to jump into this week's Artist of the Week. Alright, so this week's Artist of the Week is a little bit different. We're kind of transitioning into other things. I found this person through a Facebook page for other artists, and I absolutely loved her work. Her name is Yasmin Yara, and this is Yasmin Yara's work. They're from Europe, so let's take a glance here. Now, the reason why I decided to branch out, just from what you call comic and furry art, is, well, all artists are welcomed on this show, especially people like Yasmin. So, let's take a look at some of the artwork of Yasmin Yara's. Now, the style is absolutely unique. It's different. It stands out. It's bold. Now, this is, I can see the symbolism here. Absolutely love the symbolism. Okay. That's well done. Oh my goodness, that is just absolutely beautiful. So we're going to keep it on this one for now. So with every artist I have on my show, I ask some simple questions about the art. Tell me about yourself, how long you've been an artist, what kind of art do you create, what sets you from Joe Blow down the street who creates the same stuff, what's a piece of advice you can give to other people looking to become artists. So this was her response. So Yasmin Yara, hero, is 20 years old, and even as a child, loved to create. As she got older, she slowly lost interest in realism and wanted to return to expressionism. You can definitely tell the expressionism in this art. In 2018, she met Dominique Fischer, who is 25 years old and also grew up near Koblenz. Both saw their common interest in art as an opportunity to create something and completely new together. And so in 2020, the modern expressionist style of the two developed, which can be seen today. So I asked her for some examples of the art, and this is what she sent me. And it says, what she gave some advice for people who wanted to be artists. For people who wanted to start with art, I can recommend simply trying everything out and finding out what you enjoy the most. And I can definitely tell, because I can tell a lot of Jean-Michel Baptiste in his art style, because she says Jean-Michel Baptiste was our inspiration at the beginning. Our new paintings arise from the imagination of our subconscious. My goodness. And of course, her Instagram is linked here. So her Instagram is Tribe Sublimerum. However you pronounce it. I'm going to have it linked below. You can see it here, but it'll also be in the About Me section. Definitely check out her art. So when it comes to art like this, I usually critique stuff like the stuff I have up here, and drawings like, say, like this. But when it comes to stuff like this is a whole different ballgame, folks. I had to go back into the recesses of my mind of art school and try to critique it in a way that an artist that goes to a museum would. So she used a modern expressionist style. Well, let's start here. I'm going to put my phone away because we're done using that. So let's start with this one. When you look at this art, what do you see? What is the first thing? What's your focal attention? What draws you to this art? Well, for me, what draws me to this art is you can definitely see almost like a cat-like human figure. You can definitely see the idea of expressionism bringing out through this art. You can see a little bit of the recesses of the mind, Jean-Michel Baptiste. This speaks on so many levels. You can sit and just look at this for hours, and you're going to notice a lot of different pieces of symbolism here. You got looks like the Bible, K9. You got the bones, the skeletal system. You're just going to notice so many different things. Now, when we come to the next one here, this one, no head. Of course, it looks like an animal, but it's all up to interpretation. And when you look at it, it's just so symbolic. Now, this one's my favorite. I kind of like this one. Now, again, I like Jean-Michel Baptiste, so this kind of screams with the colors. You got the bold white outlines here. You got the almost abstract background with no rhyme or reason with the colors. Almost looks like graffiti. And then you got this little figure here with the eyes. It has this little Picasso look to it. And especially this, and this just screams. And of course you got the no head. It just screams. It screams. You can just stare at this for hours. Now this one. I like this one. It's the body. You got a head. You can definitely see the head. And you can definitely see the body. And you can see the background. There's not much I'm going to say to this because I'll let the art speak for itself. Now this one. These are famous figures. You should know these kind of figures because they're very highly collectible. But she did her own style. Modernized. And just brought it directly to this. It's a form of abstract expressionism. And it speaks on so many levels. I absolutely love it. I just love this style of work. This is stuff you would see in a museum, especially MoMA, Museum of Modern Art. This is just amazing. I absolutely love it. For those, again, her Instagram will be located below. Definitely like and follow her and check out her artwork because this is what we call art. What I do is different. I draw art, but I draw art for sale. This is just absolutely beautiful. I absolutely love it. Thank you, Yasmin, for being this week's Artist of the Week. And again, her Instagram information is below, so definitely check her out. We're going to take a little commercial break after seeing that postmodern conceptualized artwork. And we're going to collect our thoughts. We'll be back.
You are watching This Week Live with Rocky Red Panda, only on PNG Studios. Make sure to like and subscribe.
And welcome back. So we're going to hop right into a happier little segment because we're going to talk about another news that's not political. Yes, non-political news. So, let's talk about another news, because I had to scrounge the internet, scrounge the web, to find the weirdest, the most interesting, the most thoughtful, provoking news stories that I could bring to you this week. It took about an afternoon of searching. So, in other news, Burger King has a new logo. That's right. After 20 years, Burger King decides to redesign their logo. Well, not just their logo, but they also redesigned their packaging and, of course, their restaurant and what their employees wear. I think we got some images, so let's check it out. It harbors what we call the 1960s look. Up there's their redesign of the packaging. Up there's their outfits. And of course, their new restaurants. Yes, they're going to be planning to redo all of their restaurants to look in this more COVID-19 friendly, modernistic, contemporary style. How about that? You know, five guys walk into a Burger King, in and out. Right? Right. In other news, Peppa Pig. Oh, well, I found this one quite hilarious. So, a mom decided to bake a cake for her child's birthday. How hard can a children's cartoon character really be to make? Well, folks, be prepared. Check this one out. That's right. The phrase, pecker pig, comes to mind. And, yeah, most parents are probably afraid to make a birthday cake of their favorite cartoon character, especially Peppa Pig, because it will look like this. I mean, it does look like Peppa, but it also looks like something else quite inappropriate. And, of course, it might be filled with some white frosty cream filling. Oh, that doesn't really help this, does it? It's a kid's show. Okay, we're going to move on. We're going to pretend that Didn't happen, but hey, you tried. In other news, there's a new fashion trend. If you thought the curly eyelash trend was bad, wait to hear this. A woman in the UK decided to turn train seats into crop tops. Who in their right mind would have thought this was a good idea? Because this is not a good idea. This is a horrible idea. But nonetheless, it happened. She sells them for $20, or in pounds to be exact, 15 pounds to be exact. And we do have an image. Check it out. The question most people have when they look at this image is, did she make them or did she steal them from the train cars? Because they've been alerted, the train car people who run this train, and it's not children's, but whatever it is, they've been alerted to the selling, and of course they sent it to the correct departments, because you have to think, many people had their heads, their backs on that. No, that's just quite nasty. I mean, keep this seat free to maintain social distancing when possible. Yeah, you're going to keep this seat free by not wearing that. No, I did not need to see that, folks. I did not need to see that. So let's get rid of this. And that has been this week's in other news. I would like to give a big thank you to everyone out there that's been a part of This Week Live. You know, you make This Week Live possible, especially for this first episode. And again, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Now I'm going to have to go. And, no, that's not what I'm looking for. Come on, there we go. That's what I was looking for, because my brain is going to farts right now. So, I want to give a big shout out to the artist of the week, Yasmin Yara, and her amazing contemporary style of art. And also, again, thank you, everyone. And this is Rocky Red Panda signing out for this week, and I will catch you next week. Till next time, folks. Peace out. Oh, I didn't know you're still there. I'm enjoying my drinky drink here. So make sure you guys like and subscribe for more awesome videos from PND Studios. That's right, PND Studios. You know that little red thing down there? Click on it. Subscribe. And that little finger, like. That's right, like. You know, there's other episodes of This Week Live, especially the New Year's episode and the Christmas episode, so definitely check those out as well. Well, I got some other things I need to be doing right now. I gotta stop procrastinating.